Hello, this is student number 23478420, and today I'll be discussing the making of video of how I created my Flipnote animation for my multimedia HSC assessment. So basically, to create an animation on this, it's a fairly simple medium. There's not too much options you can do with this, unlike, for example, Flash and all the Adobe products. This is really meant for simple animations, though what's good about it is that it's simple to use and it's fairly flexible in what you can do. So for example, I have my animation here, which I can see I'm flipping the pages and the eye opens, and so yeah, you're basically going back and forth on pages, and you can select what type of pen you want. If you want to make a thin one, and then I can make it more swervy, thicker, and stuff like that. And then if you want to obviously have an erase tool to get rid of some stuff. So yeah, I'll give you a demonstration of how I drew one of my main characters. So basically, he's flipping through the pages, and see he goes from which pages they are. So for example, if I want to change the pattern of his hair, I have these options here, and I can make him, for example, this option here, and then if I just do this, I'll be able to make a black shade in it. So basically that's how I created my Flipnote animation. I also used a tracing tool which this thing has, which lets you trace and copy frames, which makes it easier to continue on from a frame, which gives it a nice, really solid animation effect, rather than it looking choppy and each frame doesn't really match the previous one. So it's pretty good like that. So yeah. So here's my second portfolio that I'll be handing out. This contains a lot of my prototype, final drawings, hand-drawn drawings which I did, and my actual animation sheets which I did hand-drawn. So we'll take a look. So basically this was my main character in my animation. His name's Snaga. So yeah, I have different views of him. A lot of these drawings are just in lead pencil. This was a final concept drawing. So yeah, this was a prototype drawing of him, which I didn't end up using. Just drawing eyes, different eyes and character designs. So a lot of this was just practice. This was also another prototype of my main character. More people. Here's just very simple website layouts, prototype ones, which I thought I might use. I changed that idea. Prototype storyboard, which I didn't get around to doing, which contained 2 characters. Though I was a bit spectacle about what the Board of Studies wanted in terms of violence, so I didn't want to make it look too graphical, so I just kept the one standard character alone, not doing any actions which would breach those rules. So here's one of my actual animation sheets. As you can see, it's clear. You can put things on top of it, trace other photos. So what I actually did is I got this frame. So basically I actually took this photo and just placed it on top of it and created my own backdrop for the image. So yeah, we have each frame there, each numbered from the top as well. And so if you look at this image, you can see the top of the sword, and then on the next one, it slowly gets higher and higher, and you can gradually see it like that. And then it comes to the top of the tip of the sword. Also the walking animation part. My favorite part of the animation, which was the hand. A simple 2 frames, just placed on top of each other. It gives it a nice effect like that. It shows the insides of the person's arm. So yeah. Okay, so here are some screenshots of me creating my soundtrack for my animation. I basically just used GarageBand, used the instruments which were already embedded into the software, and added my own sounds and so forth to create my own soundtrack. Also, here are my actual animations which I had scanned. So that's how I put those on the computer. Then those would have gone on Windows Movie Maker, I would have put on my own music. And I also included an intro using iMovie, this intro here, which starts off my project. So yeah, so here's a prototype of how my final video looked like before I'd put on my final animation. So I overlapped it with the music and put my frames in there. I selected them for 15 milliseconds each. That's the speed that I chose to put the frames on. And I bought my own, so yeah. Well, that's my making of video. Thank you for watching.